No, we're not. So we got together and we had a friend, Jennifer Davis actually, who associate produced it right there. She had a friend who was a photographer, and she got us all together, and we took family pictures and just kind of hung out. And then, yeah. What's your name again? Amelia. Amelia's a future big-time director, so watch out for Amelia. Yes. Questions? Throw them at me, guys. Yes?
Is this the same as what showed in the Kansas City Film Festival?
So we cut about 5 minutes out. So that screening was 96, and we cut 5 minutes since then. Which over the last, 2 years, we've just been working the film. And once we sold it, Aaron got in there and did some more cutting and just to make it tighter,
Who is your background music?
Vincent Gilios, who's a really awesome composer from LA. We're really fortunate to nab him because he did a great job. We worked really hard. We had this not love-hate, but like I'm a big music guy, and I just remember every cue giving him notes. And he's like, man, usually people just give me another film and I compose it, but I was like, I don't know, music's big for me, so he did a great job.
So, Matt, did he compose the music to a cut film, or did he piece it?
He had a pretty close to this cut, probably, it was 96, the one that he cut to, and then we did a little trimming since then with the music here and there, but it was a difficult thing because we had a lot of versions that he was working on, but we tried to, like when the final came in, we as far as the final cut before this last one, that's when we kind of said, okay, do your magic. So. Yes.
I have two questions. One was when I listened to your interview, you were talking about how you have to make the word was like a directory of sounds. That's not the right word. Like you have to say what every sound that was in the movie. What was that called? Like you catalog every single. You were talking about that on your NPR interview.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
a
okay.
cue sheet.
That's
It's called
it,
a
yeah.
dialogue and sound cue sheet. So
Cue
sorry.
sheet. Okay,
Yeah,
that's
it's a
what you call
dialogue
it.
and sound. It's a cue sheet,
Okay.
and basically, so you have to just account for every image and every sound, when it happened, where it happened, so that when you sell it overseas, they can do their magic if they need to. So.
And then my second question was, what was the inspiration for the story line?
Well, when we saw Saw, I knew, like what I loved about that movie was it was just two people in one location, and me and Aaron knew that with the budget we were going to have, if we kept it in one location, just 2 or 3 actors, it would give us time to really focus on, making the movie as good as we could. So that was kind of the outline as far as Saw, torture, that element. But then we were like, you know what, I don't want it to be about torture. Especially the recent, I like the first Saw, but the other Saw is all about torture. I wanted to make a movie that kind of had a message. So I was like, okay, and it just kind of went from there. I was listening, all of my movies that I've ever made have been inspired by music, and I was listening to a piece from The Village, and I just saw this visual of this husband and wife who'd been tortured all night, and they're overlooking this kind of creepy looking guy, and that's kind of where, the whole story kind of came from. Yes? Okay.
How much did all that blood cost?
I don't know, it's the producer, he'd pay the money for it.
You mean like the blood room? The blood room was like, we went to all the craft shops all over Lee Summit and bought out every bit of red paint that they had and mixed that with water. So that was what the blood room was made of. Now the blood that was all over us was a combination of Karo syrup and red dye and blue dye and and chocolate syrup. And it's really sticky, and once it sticks to your skin and your clothes, and yeah, it's not fun. And then for some of the more stuff on like the head and stuff like that, like up close stuff, it's stuff you buy. It's like called sticky blood, and scab, and all kinds of stuff. But if you want to talk to me afterwards, I can tell you what it's like something like Ben Nye or something. I don't remember what
I know
the
what
name
it
is.
is. Yeah, I can take it.
Someone else here knows.
You were the killer.
Yeah, I was. It was, well, whenever it's weird because I remember I kind of felt like this thing was coming up, And so when I say felt like, I just kind of had this premonition that I was going to be doing a movie, so I didn't cut my hair for about 18 months before we shot it. And so I'd been growing that out for a long time, and I'd kind of been preparing myself for something dark. And so a lot of it was every morning I would get up and have eggs, and then I would go into my closet of horrible experiences as a child and as an adult, and I would drag out the things that most affected me that day. So,
It was eggs and your first time.
yes, that was pretty much what breakfast was.
Yes.
So then, who came up with the torture scenes, particularly that horrifying Viagra one?
Well, I knew, I mean, obviously, you know, the husband, his motivation, or a little of it was, as far as from his son's viewpoint, was, you know, this oh gosh, I keep this G-rated. He knew that it was an attraction to this woman, so he wanted to punish him in that way. This force that kind of pulled his father away from his mother. And so I knew I wanted to have some sort of contraption that punished that particular area of the body. And yeah, that's kind of where it came from. Just trying to figure out how do I punish somebody there without making it too graphic, you know. So yeah, that's kind of where it came from. Yes.
Tell us a
Stacy.
little bit about your next projects that you guys got coming up.
I'm working on 2 feature scripts right now. I'm really excited about both of them. One's a love story, and one's kind of a sci-fi genre mix. And then probably most likely, depending on how those work out, I'm going to be directing a feature this August or September, maybe a little later, depending on how, again, money works out with that one. But it's based on a novel called The Story of the Sand. And then I'm working on a doc feature. And Aaron got another feature coming up here with Aaron McGrain in it.
Yeah, we got a movie called Nailbiter coming up. We've been shooting it for a while, but we should be finishing it up this summer because we've got our sales agents are already running can right now, selling it actively. They're going, people want to know, when's it going to be finished? And I'm like, when we're done shooting and editing and sound and all that. So I got that, and then I just got involved with a documentary that actually had been in the works for, I think Randall had been working on this for a couple of years, but it's about Mercury. So those are the 2 things I got going on. And yes, Erin McGrain's the star of Nailbiter, and so she's our mom and the heroine of the movie. And then I'm playing the dad at the very end, and so I got my military haircut, and I'm coming home from the war. So that's it.
Yes, Rob.
So, Aaron, are you going to do another bad guy character? Because, I mean, that's really, to me, you're the favorite character in the movie as the bad guy. And I'm kind of wanting to know if you're going to do another role like that, because I think you fit.
You know, it's funny. I remember after people had seen some cuts earlier, they were all like, "Oh yeah, and I want you to be just like, can you grow the hair out and the beard?" And I was like, "Man, I don't want to get typecast so much."
I think you can go
But
with what you got now.
I will admit that whenever we were kids and all my buddies wanted to play, you know, Star Wars and stuff like that, I was so stoked whenever none of the other kids wanted to be Darth Vader, so I could be Darth Vader, because I knew he was the hero of the story somehow, some way.
Yes. Just one camera. It's a small little HVX 200, almost a little higher than a prosumer camera. It was digital. Yeah. So that's about $6,000 camera with a little adapter that let us use prime lenses. So it looked really good for just that little small little camera. We got really fortunate. Yes. Yeah, right there. I think Fells.
How long did you write the script? How long did it take you to write the script, and then how long did it take to?
So 7 months writing the script, I think, and then we shot over 24 days, over March and April, and then we had a couple, like probably 6 or 7 pickup days. So I think it was probably 30, 31 shooting days. Some of those days were a couple hours, the aerial shots, and then some other things. Man, Amelia, is it Amelia? Just tons of questions. One second, Amelia. Who else had? Yes, right here.